Hey guys, welcome back. Now, I believe this week was the week that the tide has shifted in the crypto market. We had one of the biggest regulatory U-turns in history as the SEC suddenly deemed Ethereum a commodity and gave it its own ETF. We had a majority of US senators now fighting for crypto, the first major crypto legislation being progressed to the Senate, which will end the evil choke point reign of Gary Gensler and the SEC. And now this is all coming together nicely, setting up the next massive crypto bull market. And so in this video, clearly we've got some great things to cover, including we'll look at the latest price action and see what is going on. We'll then see how this bull market is progressing against the previous ones and see when the next big breakout could be coming. And then we'll finish with the biggest developments that have happened in just the past 2 weeks. And oh my goodness, were there some good ones. Okay, so first up, let's check in with the latest price action and see what is going on. So let's start out and check out what has been going on in this crazy week for crypto. We are jumping in with the Bitcoin chart, and from this chart, nothing really that much has changed. After the last mega run, setting the new high, it's pretty much come back and it's still in this trading range between about 60,000 and 70,000. On the news that the Ethereum ETF was going to get approved after all, it did break above, but again, it couldn't hold. So we're still in this sideways consolidation pattern, slightly again trending down. So a couple of things here. First of all, this is why meme coin mania is going on, is because there's a large segment of the market and it's going to be the younger generation, the teens, the 20s, predominantly trading meme coins because they don't have the patience over these months to wait for the bigger market. So the meme coins have been popping off over the past couple of months. And that's fine if that is your game. And the second thing is that this is nothing new. And I think in one of my previous videos recently, we looked back and from the actual market bottom going back end of 2022, this is a pattern that kept repeating. We have big breakouts, long sideways consolidation, fading down. Same pattern here, big breakout, fading down, big breakout, fading down, big breakout. This one was slightly different going into the ETFs, but same thing here, big breakout, long sideways consolidation pattern. So this is just the same thing that's happened again and again and again and again all the way down. But what's nice is that it's the opposite of when it's crashing. So what you see when it's crashing, sideways consolidation, and then a leg down, sideways consolidation, leg down. So nice to be on the other side of this pattern. So the pain of having to wait a month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months, it's still better in an up market. So that is pretty much what is going on right now. But the longer this goes on, the closer we get to the next big leg up. Now, just jumping over to seasonality, and something very interesting has happened here in just the past couple of days. And that is that in 2024, now this year, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. So the tide has also changed here. And luckily for me, I did put the remainder of my cash position going into altcoins and Ethereum out of Bitcoin at the start of this year. So certainly a lot of luck to that, but it's also likely that Ethereum now continues to outperform Bitcoin for the rest of this market cycle. However, unlike the Bitcoin maxis, I also want Bitcoin to succeed. Bitcoin is still the index for the entire market, and if Bitcoin does well, everything else does well. So I never really fully understand why people just go all in on one crypto. This is an entire marketplace. So it's fine for altcoins to do well, and it's fine for Bitcoin to do well as well. And I still base my analysis off Bitcoin. So what do we see? Well, after the epic run of 7 green months in a row, we did get this nice correction month in April, and it's back on track. It may not feel like it, but double-digit returns so far. So healthy correction, back on track, and it's setting up a very strong rest of the year. Now, when it comes to the 4-year cycle, a nice big picture, it's getting very, very exciting. As here we are right now, this is the halving. We've gone through the big last crash, this very uncertain sideways consolidation. Is it going back down? No. Is it going back down? Rough crypto spring into the halving, and we're now in this very exciting time. Probably one of the best times in crypto, where we're now looking at these crazy runs that occur around this time. And with recent developments this week, everything is falling in place, which is a little bit spooky if you think about it. How does this keep repeating? So first thing to see, it's a bit hard when they're all blended together, but it's still now way ahead of previous cycles. If we take this one by one, from the first cycle, which was an insane move, it's still leading the charge, which is crazy. Cycle number 2, which it's been very, very similar to, probably the most correlated. At this point, it had gone through a big, massive flush out. And what did we do? Return back to these highs. So now it's even outpacing this cycle, so it's still further ahead. And then cycle number 3, as you can see, it's blasting ahead as well. So I'd say it's probably quite likely that the Bitcoin ETFs have brought forward some of this demand. But Bitcoin is clearly looking very, very strong. And I'd say with recent developments, it's going to be the altcoins that probably now catch up a bit. But the exciting part is that we're getting really close to the next big breakouts. And finishing up with the developments of the past couple of weeks, and my God, were there some big ones. Obviously, the one that's just hit, crypto industry cheers, is a historic move. Ethereum suddenly being deemed a commodity and getting an ETF, taking 99% of the marketplace by surprise. Though there's still some people out there thinking, why hasn't Ethereum's price jumped? Well, if you just look at it in a weekly period, the actual jump didn't happen when it got released, but when people found out it was going to get released. So for a 5-day period, the fact that it's gone up over 20% in 5 days, this is the initial big move, which is why you have to be in the market, because it happens too quickly. By the time you've figured out what's going on, the move has already happened. So 20% in 1 day, which turned out to be the entire market cap of Solana got added to Ethereum in 1 day. So this was a massive, massive move. So what on earth happened? Well, it was all to do with this SARB 121. This was a bill which had been brought forward by the SEC, basically blocking the banks from being able to custody crypto. Now, the banks, seeing what happened with the Bitcoin ETFs, saw that there's money to be made in crypto. So they've been lobbying people in Congress, and Congress pushed through this bill, repealing this horrible clause that Gary Gensler had put in. It all became political. Then President Biden had said he's going to veto this ruling, which is still up in the air, which basically means he has to make a stance. Is he pro-crypto or anti-crypto? The same week, Donald Trump had come out and said he is now pro-crypto. And I think Biden and his administration has underestimated the people of crypto. They are older than he thinks. It's not just teenagers in their bedrooms. It's people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s, as well as the banks that want to get involved. So a huge political shift. This is why this bill got revoked. This is why Biden made a call to Gary Gensler basically saying, put the Ethereum ETF through. It all got political. Then in the same week, another bill got progressed to the Senate, and this one was the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act. And this one is a powerful bill because it now creates a new standard of what is a commodity and what is a security. Under the reign of Gary Gensler, they've been using the Howey test. However, in this bill, there's a new 5-point test to see how decentralized a crypto asset is. If it is sufficiently decentralized, it will be a commodity, and if it's not, a security. And it means probably about 80% of the crypto market will then be put under the CFTC instead of the SEC. So power taken away from Gary Gensler. And this got passed through the House and now onto the Senate. It's all getting political. Now, in a few days, we'll have Bitcoin and Ethereum ETPs going live on the London Stock Exchange. And how do we know that we're still early? Is because this is only for professional and institutional investors. Still nothing for retail customers. We are still early. Great move from India as they've now given an approval for Binance. India, obviously a monster market, so this is good news. Vanguard, the one massive asset manager which appeared to be anti-crypto, not allowing their customers to buy the Bitcoin ETFs. We then, under massive pressure, the CEO has stepped down and they've now got a former BlackRock exec as the new CEO. And he's the guy that oversaw BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF filing. As you see, the tide is just shifting from every angle. Then, the largest futures exchange, the CME, came out and said they plan to launch Bitcoin spot trading, which in itself is huge. Then another crazy thing that came out was the 13F filings at the SEC. So we could actually see who's been buying the Bitcoin ETFs. Initially, this hit saying that 563 professional investment firms had reported owning some of the Bitcoin ETFs. 563 companies. And they just kept hitting. We had banks, but not just any banks, from all around the world. This in Toronto. We have an insurance company, another big Canadian bank, Swiss bank, hedge funds, pension funds. All in all, I think it came to over 937 unique owners. And just to put this in perspective, gold only had 95. So digital gold clearly crushing it over the original. So for just the past couple of weeks, this news has been insane. And everything is falling in place for the next monster bull market rally. This week was the week of a major shift in the crypto market. However, Bitcoin is still stuck between the 60 and 70k range. However, that means that the big breakout is getting closer. Seasonality showed that Ethereum is now outperforming Bitcoin for this year and probably for the rest of this cycle. Sorry, Bitcoin maxis. The 4-year cycle shows that Bitcoin is still looking really strong, and probably a lot of the demand has been brought forward due to the ETFs. And now the altcoins will probably be making back some ground. And talk about crazy developments for the past 2 weeks. We had hundreds of banks and institutions all buying Bitcoin. Ethereum suddenly being deemed a commodity and getting its own ETF. And now a majority of US senators fighting for crypto's corner. Amazing to see. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. And as you can see, all of this is coming together nicely and setting up the next monster bull market rally for this cycle. Let the FOMO begin. As always, if you got any questions or comments, then let me know below. However, just remember to get rid of 100% of the comment spam and trading bots that plague YouTube comments. We are trying out the new SuperThanks Commenting system. So to get your question or comment read and replied to, or just to say thanks, then use SuperThanks below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.